I will call to order the November meeting of the Richland County Board, and I'll ask Kalish to call the roll, please.
Carroll.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Schoonover.
Here.
Kramer.
Here.
McKee.
Here.
Engel.
Here.
Hendricks.
Here.
Manning. Here. Thompson.
Here.
Perry.
Here.
Turk.
Here.
Cosgrove. Frank.
Here.
Severson.
Present.
Williamson.
Here.
Cooey.
Here.
Fleming.
Here.
And McGuire.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Good. Do we have anyone present for the invocation tonight? Go ahead and introduce yourself and we'll stand and join you here.
Just wanted to apologize to the county board because I was supposed to be here in June, and it is very important. And I came on Wednesday instead of Tuesday, so it made the police department quite nervous that I was up here rummaging around, and it was closed. And so I volunteered for July, and then I had a deathbed situation and was called at 4. County board just skipped my mind, so we do think it's important.
This is Jan Starr from the Boaz United Methodist Church.
Thank you.
And Franklin Lutheran. Let us pray. Father God, we thank you for this opportunity. We pray for everyone that is present here. We thank you for their willingness, Lord, to serve on this board. We thank you for their dedication. We pray, Father, tonight that your Holy Spirit would descend down on them, dwell up in them, and give them extra wisdom and knowledge and understanding as they discuss issues and help them as a decision has to be made. We pray that you will watch over them as they travel back to their homes and be with us tonight. We ask all this in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. All right, if you would place the image of the flag on the screen, I would ask Clerk Kalish to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are we in compliance with the open meetings law?
Yes, Mr. Chair, the meeting's been properly noticed.
Very good. Before us, we have a 29-point agenda. Do I have a motion from the board to approve the agenda? Motion by Mr. Manning, second by Supervisor Kramer. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, we have an agenda. You were provided minutes from our October 20th meeting, reflecting the length of that meeting. Anybody have questions, comments, corrections on those October 20th minutes? Hearing none, the chair will declare those minutes to be approved as presented. Item number 8 is public comment. I haven't received any forms from anybody wishing to comment. Do we have anyone here that wishes to address the county board? Or anybody online? All right, hearing none, we'll continue with our agenda. Item 9, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions.
So in your package, you will see that there is a proposed committee appointments. We are looking to appoint Rod Perry to Community and Health Services, Tiffany Thompson to Public Safety Standing Committee and to Pine Valley Committee, Mark Storms to the Board of Adjustments, and Elaine Hendricks to the Library Planning Committee.
Do I have a motion to confirm those appointments? Motion from Supervisor Kramer, second from Supervisor Fleming. Any discussion on those appointments? No? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
The status on the vacancies?
On the county board vacancies, we have them posted on our website. We have had no interest in the remaining seats. Yeah. And we are coming up, and I'm sure Derek will talk about this later, we're coming up on time when it's time to take out nomination papers for election. So all 21 seats are up for election.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Item number 10, ordinance relating to parcel 030-3224-4000.
Okay, this will be ordinance number 25-23, amendment number 631 to the Richland County Code of Ordinance, Chapter 119, that the following described 8.04 acre parcel in the town of Westford is rezoned from illegal non-conforming to ag residential. This ordinance shall be effective upon passage and publication. It is being offered to you by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on November 3rd of 2025.
Okay, do I have a motion on this ordinance? Motion by Mr. McKee, second by Mr. Perry. And discussion. Mr. Carroll?
Sure, I thought Kathy was going to be here. But I think all three of these are ones where, again, we're correcting non-conforming zoning classifications as things come up. So this is really just to switch it to ag residential since it's only 8 acres.
Which is far superior to illegal non-conforming.
Right.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the ordinance, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, continuing on to item 11, an ordinance relating to parcel 018-2532-2000.
Okay, this will be ordinance number 25-24, amendment number 632 to the zoning code, chapter 119. Again, as noted, that the following described 14-acre parcel in the town of Marshall is hereby rezoned from legal non-conforming to ag residential. This ordinance shall be effective upon passage and publication, and is again offered to you by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on November 3rd of 2025.
Okay, very good. Motion by Mr. Manning, looking for a second. By Mr. Carroll, and discussion. Sounds similar.
Yeah, same thing.
Any further questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That ordinance is adopted. Item 12, ordinance relating to parcel 030-2742-1000.
All right, ordinance number 25-25, amendment number 633 to chapter 119 of the Richland County zoning ordinances. This parcel is 4 acres in the town of Westford and again is being rezoned from illegal non-conforming to ag residential. This ordinance shall be effective upon passage and publication and is once again offered to you by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on November 3rd of 2025.
Okay, any motion on this one? Motion by Mr. Carroll, second by Mr. Schoonover. And discussion. Same as above?
Yes.
Okay. Let's make it legal. All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, and that ordinance is adopted. Item 13, report on petitions for zoning amendments received since the last county board session.
Again, I had thought Kathy was going to be here tonight, so I've not heard from her if there were any or not.
I'm not aware of any, okay. And same for item 14, any recommended for tonight? Okay. Then we will move on to item 15 with reports, which starts off with 15A, our 2024 audit presentation.
So for that presentation, we have the company's auditor, Bill.
Bill is online, yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, I'm here tonight to present the 2024 financial statements. Our statements were issued end of September, and we have issued an unmodified opinion on the financial statements. That is the desired opinion that states we believe the financial statements are free from material misstatement. Our reports are provided in a PDF electronic format as well as in a paper-bound copies. The scope of our audit includes all funds and activities of the county. A separate, more detailed exit conference was held with the Pine Valley Community Village trustees. The separate audit communications document is designed for county board and should be reviewed alongside the financial statements. Johnson Block also prepares the regulatory report for the county with the Department of Revenue, the Municipal Financial Report Form A, and the financial statements for Pine Valley Community Village are also, they also have a separate financial statement that gets issued. Is there a copy of the presentation that I need to share, or do you guys have? Yeah, there we go. On page 3, the 2024 financial highlights. The 2024 governmental funds, total fund balance increased by $127,903. and general fund increased by $2,112,000. General funds total fund balance was $11,975,000 as of December 31st, 2024, and that represents approximately 6 months of expenditures. Tax certificates receivable as of December 31st, which represents one of the larger receivables that are recorded on the books, were $680,000 at December 31st compared to $579,000 in 2023. Countywide sales tax was $1,634,000 in 2024, and it was $1,604,000 in 2023. The county complied with state-imposed property tax levy limits. There were no long-term debt issues during 2024. The county made scheduled debt payments of principal and interest during the year. And Pine Valley Community Village recorded operating revenues of $9.9 million and operating expenses netted to an operating loss of $1,193,000 in 2024. And that loss is partially offset by property tax levy of $665,000. Page 4 is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balances for the government funds. The county reported 2 major funds in 2024. The general fund, which is the primary operating fund and is required to be shown as a major fund, and capital projects fund. The American Rescue Plan Fund was a major fund in the prior year, but it's not reported as a major fund in the current year. So there's a reporting change now that this is the way we show when there's a change between major and non-major between calendar years. All the rest of the government funds are reported in aggregate and shown as non-major funds. In 2024, total revenues were $26,869,000. And the prior year, they were $22,690,000. Total expense was $26,104,000 compared to prior year, which was $21,441,000. Total other financing sources and uses, and the prior year we had long-term debt issued, so total financing sources were $8.5 million last year, and in the current year, it just represent transfers out primarily in 2024 of $637,000 in total for other financing uses. So we started the year total government funds of $18,437,000 in fund balance, and that increased $127,000 to $18,565,000. Page 5 is a budget comparison schedule for the general fund, primary operating fund of the county. Budgeted revenues were $21,407,000, and actual revenues were $23,353,000. That's a favorable difference of about $1.9 million, which is primarily made up of intergovernmental grants that were received during the year. Operating expenses were $21,228,000. Actual budgeted were $21,407,000. So that was a favorable difference of $179,000. We budgeted transfers to other funds that weren't necessary. So total net change in fund balance was an increase of $2,112,000. So fund balance went from $9.8 million to $11,975,000. Page 6, the county reports 4 types of fund balance, ranging from most restricted at the top to least restricted at the bottom. Total non-spendable fund balance of $839,000 makes up about 5% of total revenue. Those are made up of primarily of your tax certificate receivables. Restricted fund balances are required to be set aside for a specific purpose. Total restricted fund balance was $6.6 million, or 36% of total fund balance. Primarily, that's made up of capital projects funds, unspent bond proceeds that are being spent down on capital projects. Assigned fund balance are from funds or resources that are set aside by management. 29,000 is total assigned fund balance, which was less than 1%. And the rest unassigned fund balance in general fund, 11,773,000, and the non-major fund had a deficit of 10,000. Total fund balance compared to prior year, pretty comparable in total, 18.4 million in the prior year, 18.5 million in the current year. The general makeup of the 2024 revenues, 40% of the county's government revenues come from grants from federal and state at $10,612,000. 35% of county revenues are tax levy at $9,405,000. Public charges for services makes up 18%. Miscellaneous and interest income makes up 6%. And licenses and permits, penalties and forfeitures makes up approximately 1% at $348,000. Some comments on when during the year we're receiving these revenues as far as the cash flow purposes. Property taxes, primarily collection time is in February and during July and August. And for the intergovernmental revenues, shared taxes is the most significant that's received, and 90% of that balance of 2.1 million is received late in the year in November. And Health and Human Services, lots of contracts and payments during the year, primarily based monthly on contract reimbursements. Page 8, the property taxes, the change over time. In 2020, the property tax levy was $10,493,000, and we're still right around that 10.3, 10.4 range. In 2024, property taxes were $10,341,000. And so overall, they've remained decreasing by about 1% over the last 5 years. The taxes receivable balance on page 9. Fluctuation on how our taxes are being collected over time. We've been trending upward from prior year. In 2022, we hit a low mark of $479,000, and that's gone up. 100,000 in 2023 at 579,000, another 100,000 in 2024 at 680,000. No allowances have been recorded against the taxes receivable balances, so we believe they're fully collectible. And an equalized value of property. Over the 8-year period shown, property equalized values of properties have increased by about 74%, which is fairly consistent with what we've seen and similar growth in other areas. Trend in sales tax revenue. Usually I have 2025 projection available, but I don't have that this year, unfortunately. But we've been trending upward. In 2023, sales taxes were $1,604,000. In 2024, they increased slightly to $1,634,000. And this would be related to the 1.5% sales tax that's been utilized. The 2024 expenditures during the year, $10,603,000, or approximately 42% of expenses are health and social services related. Public safety makes up 20% of total expense. General government at 12%, $3,157,000. And the rest, culture and recreation, conservation and development, which are each at 4%. Debt service at $1,173,000 was our scheduled debt service payments during the year, principal and interest. Capital outlay of $3,723,000 during the year, and then transportation expenses of $26,000. Statement of revenue, expenses, and changes in net position for the proprietary fund, the Pine Valley Community Village, which is an enterprise fund, and the internal service fund of the highway department. Operating revenues and expenditures for each resulted in an operating loss of almost 1.2 million for Pine Valley and 3.5 million for the highway department. Non-operating revenues are made up primarily of general property taxes for both, at $665,000 for Pine Valley and 2.3 million for highway. We had some transfers in from the government funds of $637,000 related to a reimbursement for some project costs on one of the county highways that got redone in 2023. Net position to start the year was about 3.8 million for Pine Valley, and that decreased by 858,000 to 2.9 million. And for the highway, started the year at 3.9 million, and that decreased to 3,380,000. And long-term debt. The government activities long-term debt started the year with 12,065,000 outstanding in long-term debt and bond premiums that were being amortized. We made scheduled payments of 855,000, so that left 11,210,000 outstanding at the end of the year. During the year, we implemented a new GASB standard which affected the balances they could calculate for vested compensated absences, which is what we owe our employees for unused sick and vacation time. So that new standard calculation caused an increase in that balance. So it went from 580,000 to about 1.2 million. Previously, we only recorded balances as liabilities if there was a high likelihood that there was going to be a retirement or the staff were approaching retirement. And the new standard, we calculate liability for all employees all time. So that's why it increased so much. Business type activities, this would be Pine Valley. We started the year with 16 million outstanding in bonds. We made 1,015,000 in principal payments. That left 15 million outstanding at the end of the year. And as of December 31st, the GO debt limit was 98 million. And debt subject to that limit was 26,220,000. So the county has approximately 73% of debt capacity remaining. Any questions?
Yes, I was just wondering, I didn't see anything on there unless I missed it for the wheel tax. Is that mixed in with something else that's not separate anymore?
Wheel taxes are likely shown on the highway income statement. Probably included in the charges for, where is the wheel tax going to be recorded? Probably in the charges for services line on page 13.
Do you have a number what that was this year?
Let me see if I can pull it up in our audit documentation.
It's usually around 300,000.
I was going to say, I know it was in the threes.
It was just shy of 300,000 this year.
It didn't make 300 this year?
No, I think it was like around 280,000.
All right.
Any other questions on Mr. Carroll?
Where would the separate financial statement for Pine Valley be? Is that filed somewhere I could look at?
Yes, it can be, Steve. It is.
Not right this
on a
minute,
separate-
just
Yes,
later.
yes.
Okay, we'll make sure that gets made available to board members. Other questions? Any other questions in the room? Any final notes you have for us, Bill?
No, generally speaking, I know I've been speaking quite a bit with Leanna, who just started at the county, and I'm excited to see what the future holds for finance department at Richland County. I know it's been something that we've been working toward, and I think now the road is paved now. I'm excited to see what the future holds for the finance department.
Very good. Last chance for any questions before we let Bill go here. All right, doesn't seem we have any questions. Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
All right, so next item under reports is the county administrator's report.
I do have a written report in the packet. If you have any questions on anything in there, I can certainly answer them for you.
Anyone have questions for the administrator? All right, moving on to C, legislative update. Do we have any legislator representatives here that want to share anything with us tonight? Doesn't look like we do. We do have that on as a standing item, so anytime area legislators want to join us, we have a place on the agenda for them to share updates. That will bring us to item 16, a resolution approving the Natural Resources Standing Committee applying for and accepting a lake monitoring and protection grant from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources.
All right, this will be resolution number 25-103. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the approval is hereby granted to the Natural Resources Standing Committee to apply for a lake monitoring and protection grant from the Wisconsin DNR in the amount of up to $7,000 to pay for staff time and supplies for aquatic invasive species projects in Richland County. Be it further resolved that the Richland County Land Conservation and Zoning Department will meet the financial obligations necessary to fully and satisfactorily complete the project, and hereby authorize and empowers the following employees to submit the following documents to the Wisconsin DNR for the fiscal assistance that may be available. You have the list there before you. I won't read it all to you. Be it further resolved that there is no county match required for this grant, and approval is hereby granted for the grant funds to be spent in accordance with the terms of the grant, and that the Land Conservation and Zoning Director, Ms. Kathy Cooper, is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the county any documents needed to carry out this resolution. Be it further resolved that this resolution will cover grant years 2026 through 2028. Be it further resolved that the applicant will comply with all local, state, and federal rules, regulations, and ordinances relating to the project and the cost share agreement. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage and publication. This is being offered to you by the Natural Resources Standing Committee on November 3 of 2025.
All right, so a motion by Mr. Manning, second by Mr. McKee. Any discussion on this?
Again, I'm wondering if she didn't hear about the change to our meeting time. Anyway, this is something we've done in the past. This is a repetition of something we do, so there's nothing really new, it's just doing it again.
Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Resolution is adopted. Item 17, resolution awarding opioid settlement fund grants to applicants providing for the prevention, treatment, and or recovery of opioid drug use.
This will be resolution number 25-104. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the Richland County Department of Health and Human Services is hereby authorized to award opioid settlement fund grants to the following. We have the Richland County Treatment Court in the amount of $5,000 for prevention efforts, treatment, and recovery efforts, and to connect people to resources and expanding resources. And then $17,000 to the Richland County Treatment Court for attendance at the 2026 National All Rise Conference in order to gain knowledge from other rural communities on best practices to better support the individual served. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage and publication. And this is being offered to you by the county board members of the Community and Health Services Standing Committee on November 6th of 2025.
All right, that's the resolution. Do I have a motion? Motion by Mr. Schoonover, second by Mr. McKee. And discussion. Mr. McGuire has a question.
I'm curious, okay, we've identified a problem here, but where do we rank I mean, where does Richland County rank in this opioid problem? Are we high, are we low, somewhere in the middle?
I don't know statistical numbers. Stephanie, do we have any?
No, I don't.
You don't know?
You can, I mean, if you talk to law enforcement, you know there's a significant impact that happens in our community. And I see Clay nodding his head, so I'm on target with that.
Yeah, and it's, so, I mean, it's, we don't see as much opioid use as we used to, like if you go back 10 or so years ago, but it still certainly exists in the county, and probably has made a little comeback as far as with fentanyl and stuff like that, and then synthetic opioids that are making their way into the community, so, yeah.
So it is definitely an ongoing thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Other questions?
I do know that Savannah is here from HHS, and she's the treatment court coordinator, and she can give an overview of the two different grants that they are looking for.
Okay. Savannah, would you please? Please.
Do I need to stand?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
All right, so the first application I put in for the 5,000 is strictly for incentive funding. So treatment court is incentive-based. The previous TAD grant that kind of covers everything for treatment court used to allow for incentive purchases to come out of the state grant. They did away with that, which led treatment court to only be able to incentivize participants through county match money. But county match money also helps fund residential, my salary, benefits, other staffing areas, transportation, things like that. So we can't, or not that we can't, but it's, the cost to cover these is not possible to accomplish through county match funding only. Therefore, the additional funding is necessary to kind of help better their prevention, recovery, treatment efforts. It helps them obtain transportation to and from appointments. Last year we were awarded this. This year so far we've spent around $3,500 out of the $5,000 that we got last year. And that's with me being on maternity leave for part of the 2025 year. So we're just asking for the same amount for 2026. And then the next one is for the All Rise National Conference. So the treatment court team is wanting to attend the national conference that's being held in Nashville, Tennessee, July 20th through the 23rd. Treatment court was established in 2017 through the Treatment Alternative and Diversions Grant. Since treatment court started, we've provided services successfully for 45 individuals, as well as helped other residents within the community connect with treatment resources and other services. The treatment court mission ultimately is to promote present and future community safety by reducing recidivism of criminal offenders who are substance dependent by using the evidence-based practices. The guiding principle of the treatment courts is the belief that every person has value and the power to change their lives and become sober, responsible citizens and improve their lives, the lives of families, and then the community as a whole. This conference that is held annually throughout the U.S. Also benefits the rural, smaller communities. We are in hopes of gaining knowledge from those other rural communities on best practices, limited resources, and how the community can better support individuals that we serve. This annual nationwide conference has content for treatment courts of every region and size. So Richland County might be small, but it also has expos for our rural people as well. Our goal is to obtain the highest level of education and training that's being offered by the National Association of Drug Treatment Court Professionals. We are having, or hope to have, at least 18 members attend the conference, participate in 3 workshops to enhance their knowledge and skills as providers, like coordinators, attorneys, judge, things like that. And then the hope is for by June of 2027, we'll implement 2 new practices or program improvements to ensure that we are in continued alignment with the standards and strengthen the overall program effectiveness of the Richland County Treatment Court. I did develop kind of a timeline on the application as far as figuring out who would attend the conference, reviewing the agenda, developing a for sure budget, registration, attending, going to outbreak sessions. Long-term, we hope to maintain integration of these evidence-based practices that would be gained through conference attendance, track improvements that were made to the program as a whole and the participant outcomes to show the value and need for ongoing professional development. It is an annual conference that's been ongoing, I believe, since 1996 is when they started, but this would be Richland County's first time attending it. We are only asking for funds to attend this 1 year. By investing in the staff training and the collaboration opportunities, we're hoping that the program's capacity will be strengthened so we're able to deliver effective services to participants to maintain long-term program success.
The funds we're looking at spending here are from the opioid settlements, and this is money that came to us from the legal settlements of the various drug companies, and so this isn't county property tax dollars or anything.
Correct.
Mr. Williamson.
Is there a sunset date on use of those dollars?
There's not. How much
Mr.
money
Perry.
would be left after this?
Okay, Ms. Fleming first. How much money would be left after this?
I think there's about 300,000 in there.
Yeah, around
Money we have in
290-ish, yeah.
investments, so there still would be about 250.
Okay, Mr. Perry.
I'd just like to stress the importance of participation in these types of events. We had quite a history of that with our Electric Utility Commission, which I was on for 40 years. And these meetings are very valuable. They're not a lark. They're a business, and it's important.
Okay. Other questions or comments? If there are none, then we have a motion and a second on this, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The resolution's adopted. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to item 18, resolution amending the collective bargaining agreement with the Deputy Sheriff's Association.
This will be resolution number 25-105. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the county enters into an MOU with the Richland County Deputy Sheriff's Association /WPPA, amending parts of the collective bargaining agreement to add the paid holidays of the day after Thanksgiving and Good Friday. Be it further resolved that sick leave will be earned in the following manner. Employees working 8-hour shifts shall earn 4 hours per pay period for 24 of the 26 pay periods yearly. Employees working 12-hour shifts shall earn 6 hours per pay period for 24 out of the 26 pay periods. Be it further resolved that the county board chair and the county administrator are hereby authorized to sign an MOU in accordance with this resolution. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon its passage and publication. This is being offered to you by the Public Safety Standing Committee on November 7th of 2025, in addition to going through Executive and Finance Standing Committee on November 11th of 2025.
Motion by Mr. Manning, do I have a second? Second by Mr. Schoonover. And discussion.
I don't know if there's anything more I really need to elaborate on that, but yeah, it's just bringing the union staff in line with the rest of the county employees and then cleaning up the sick leave language. So,
Okay. Anybody have questions? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? We've adopted that resolution. Item 19, a resolution approving the approval of changes to the rural functional classification system in Richland County.
This will be resolution number 25-106. Now therefore be it resolved that Richland County hereby approves all recommended functional classifications. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This is being offered to you by the Public Works Standing Committee on November 13th of 2025.
For a motion on this resolution. Motion by Mr. Cooey, second by Mr. Caro. And discussion. Josh?
So basically what it comes down to is every road has a classification based on its functionality within your traffic system. So then from there, it's categorized into like terms, minor collector, major arterial, major arterial, so on and so forth. And how that's calculated is usually with either it's designed for what its purpose is, whether it's connecting two major points, or you're going to look at traffic counts, average daily traffic, and which that is conducted by the state of Wisconsin on basically a semi-regular basis. They've changed a couple things of how often they do that. So when you're driving down the road and you see like a little black plastic tube going across the road, that's counting your cars. So when they monitor that, they make sure that the traffic count is staying within its defined classification, whether it be an arterial, minor collector, major collector. So last go around there was two changes in the county. One was State Highway 56, which is going to drop down one category because the number of cars have dropped down on it, and the other one was on County Road Q, which extends from County Road Y to Seminary. There was a little drop in traffic there, so that's going to be reclassified to a different level. Those classifications basically channel the roads into the funding stream. So to keep in layman's terms, like a regular township road is not going to be able to compete with a federal highway for funding. So there's different pots of money to go after with funding, and those are broken down into how those classifications are. So if a road is like a major collector, it's going to fall into a different classification than a major arterial. It really doesn't have any major effect on our county because they're very small segments, and especially the state highway, we don't have anything to do with going after funding for that. We just do the everyday maintenance to it, so that's really the state of Wisconsin. But the small segment on County Road Q, again, that's so minor that it's not going to really make a difference for us on maintaining it. If that explains it enough. This form is a stamped form from the state of Wisconsin. Once it passes county board, they just need us to accept it at a local level. They'll take a copy of this resolution, will be filed with the state of Wisconsin at the federal level because they need the local government to accept the changes that were made.
Do you have questions on this for Josh?
I got one
Go ahead,
I wanted to ask. So the little tubes, do they count axle, or when they're activated once, they just know it's one vehicle?
They just know it's one vehicle.
Okay.
Some of them are kind of, I think some of them can be electronic, but I think the ones I'm familiar with, there's like a little flow of air through there, so once the flow of air is stopped, it triggers a count.
So a semi's not going to count more than like a car then?
Depending on what kind of data they're trying to collect, but most of the time just a traffic count is just going to count as one.
Any other questions? Hearing none. All those in favor of this resolution, please say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? The resolution's adopted. Moving on to item 20, resolution approving 2026 job description.
This is resolution number 25-107. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the job descriptions listed above are approved as presented. Be further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This is being offered to you by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on November 11 of 2025.
I have a motion to bring this forward. Motion from Mr. Schoonover, second from Supervisor Fleming.
All
Any
right,
discussion? Go
so
ahead.
there are 6 new job descriptions we're looking to have added for 2026. All of these have been built into the budget. The first one is the Administrative Secretary at Ambulance. This is currently an existing position, but it is a contracted position, and so we're asking that it be brought into a Natick County position. The second is our Child and Youth Services Lead Worker. This replaces the supervisor position that has been vacant, and it does not add to the staff authorization table. Next is our Emergency Management Director. So as you'll recall, the Ambulance Service Director and our Emergency Management Director was 2 different people, or excuse me, 1 person. We're making it 2 positions. So it currently is an existing position in that we had a contracted individual that was helping to support the Emergency Management Department. We are now making that one the director, and we'll be making it a county position and not a contracted position. We did update to remove ambulance duties, and it will be under the Highway Department in 2026. One thing that I'll be asking from that job description is that we remove the requirement to be current fire officer certification. We did check with the state, and they do not feel that is a requirement that needs to be in there. Our third position is a human resource director. We're looking to eliminate the HR generalist position and create an HR director position. We really want this position to focus more on the big picture, the policy, employee issues, and so we're hopeful that that will help support my role in the county. The next position is the coordinated services lead worker. This is not going to add to the staff authorization table, and we will be looking to assign these duties to somebody who is currently a coordinated service professional out at HHS. And then our last one is the radio tower technician. This is a new position, and it is in response to the completion of the tower project. We really do need someone there to be able to maintain the investment that we put into the radio tower project. When they are not doing radio tower duties, they will be helping with the MIS department. So those are the new positions we are looking to add.
Anybody have questions? Much of this we've discussed in other meetings before, so it's just actually making it happen now. Supervisor Hendricks, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question then. So currently, the county has 2 HR positions.
Just, well,
We do.
yes, over at Pine Valley there is one, yes.
So what will happen to that position? Because it's kind of a duplicate position. We've never ever had 2 in the county before. This is new. Yeah.
So I know previously, and I could be wrong on some of this, that there was somebody who, at Pine Valley, who had some HR duties and some nurse duties, so it was kind of a joined role. With the number of staff that come through the county, there is a need to have somebody out at Pine Valley. Some of the things that we found earlier this year when we had the state come in is there wasn't anybody who was tracking, you know, the training hours for the CNA licensing and some of those other requirements. And so they're doing some of those duties. They do make sure that all of the background checks are being completed because there was nobody tracking that. So, and they shouldn't say nobody, there was a dip in the tracking of that. So there are plenty of duties for them to do there, more of the generalist type duties versus a director duty.
We'll discuss that. Okay, thank you.
Other questions?
Chair, this is Bob. I'm on.
Yes, go ahead, Bob.
Tricia mentioned about the need to make a change to the EM. Does that need to be an amended change?
Does that need to be amended for this action, or can we tweak that job description after this?
I think we can tweak it because it's a minor change that we can do that. I just more so wanted to make sure that the committee was aware that that is something we'll be removing.
Perfect. Just wanted to make sure I'm aware
Okay.
of that. Thank
Well,
you.
it's, council says we might as well just make it part of the motion now, so would there be some, make an amendment to remove the, what was it,
The current fire officer certification requirement.
from the emergency manager job description? I see Supervisor Kramer with a hand up and Supervisor McKee seconding. So what we're doing is just, we're making that amendment here to take that out of the job description for that position, so we don't have to worry about it later. Anybody with questions on that amendment? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, the amendment has been made. Any other questions on the motion as amended? All right, all those in favor of adopting these job descriptions, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that resolution is adopted. Item 21, a resolution approving 2026 budget amendments.
This will be resolution number 25-108. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors, the amendments to the 2026 Richland County budget as approved, which are listed there above, are approved as presented. Be further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This being offered to you by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on November 11 of 2025.
Okay, looking for a motion on this. Motion by Supervisor Perry, second by Supervisor Severson. In discussion, this is making happen what we did when we adopted the budget and had those amendments, correct?
Correct. Right. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
We can do it together. So those of you that were present for the budget in October, these were the amendments that you all made on the floor, and then when we adopted the budget with those amendments in there. So the day after the budget, when we went to adjust these budget lines, we just wanted to make a few things clear on here. And I think that the thing that we just wanted to make very clear was that there was a motion in the approved budget to move the $5,006.25 from Fund 650, which is the Parks Fund, to the Ambulance Fund. So you guys approved that. That motion was presented, approved as a part of the adopted budget. Just in full transparency, that Fund 65 does not have any revenue. So we are decreasing that budget, which is tax levy, to then offset expenses in the ambulance for the Fund 510 for the $5,000. And you've already approved that, but it was suggested to us to make this clear so that everyone was aware that there was no revenue to take from there. And I'm not sure if that was made apparent or not during the meeting, but this is really just to, again, further clarify those amendments that were already approved as a part of the 2026 budget adoption. So I know it seems like this may be out of order, but it's just really to clarify things and make sure you all understand
So what we're doing is we're drawing down an existing fund to make this
yes.
happen.
So it's a fund balance transfer from Fund 650 to 510.
Okay.
So just to really clarify that, and this outlines it in there.
And then similar with Pine Valley as well?
That's correct. Same difference with Pine Valley. Yep, is those budget numbers will still the same. It's just we're going to divert some of those monies for expenses to Fund 510, which again is what you all agreed on during the budget. So.
Okay. Questions on these budget adjustments? I don't hear any, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? We have adopted that resolution. Item 22, a resolution providing informed consent for continuing representation by Abswain Law LLC.
All right, this will be resolution number 25-109. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the proposed waiver attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference is granted. Be it further resolved that Abswain Law LLC and Attorney Wendell shall continue their representation of the county per the current contract except for matters related to the provision of emergency medical services. Be it further resolved that County Administrator Tricia Clements is hereby authorized to sign the waiver on behalf of the county, and be it further resolved that this resolution is effective upon its passage and publication. This being offered to you by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on November 11 of 2025.
Okay. Approve that resolution. Motion by Mr. Manning, second by Mr. Schoonover. Any discussion?
So this is something that Attorney Wendell brought to our attention and has shared with us that there is a conflict related to the ambulance service with his representation of both us and the city and possibly other municipalities. So he is obligated to notify us of this conflict, request a withdrawal, and then we make the decision if we are going to continue to engage with Abswain for Corporation Counsel Services. We did consult with Attorney Andy Phillips on this, and he recommended to sign the waiver and proceed with this as recommended.
So what we're saying is we're waiving we'll continue to use Abswain for our other corp counsel duties, but not anything having to do with the ambulance service, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Questions on this? Supervisor Hendricks.
When is the contract up with that firm then?
At the end of this year, December 31st.
So this would just be continuing through this?
Or into next year if we continue to engage with their services.
But we have other, yeah, okay.
Other questions? I don't think there are any. All in favor of approving this resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I'm sorry?
I'm voting no.
Okay, we have one opposition. The resolution is adopted. Item 23, a resolution approving amendments to the Richland County fee schedule.
This will be resolution number 25-110. Now therefore be it resolved by the Richland County Board of Supervisors that the amendments to the Richland County fee schedule are approved as presented. Be it further resolved that this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. This is being offered to you by the Executive and Finance Standing Committee on November 11 of 2025.
Okay, that's the resolution. We have a motion on this one. Motion by Kramer, second by McKee. Any discussion?
So when we set the fee schedule in 2024, we were not in compliance with Wisconsin Public Records Law Compliance Guide and had fees set incorrectly for open records requests through the sheriff's office. So we are asking to have all of those fees removed so that we are in compliance with statute.
Questions? If there are no questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? There are none. The resolution is adopted. That brings us to item 24, a closed session under state statute 1985, parenthesis 1, parenthesis C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. This would be a 6-month performance review for our county administrator. Do I have a motion to enter into a closed session? Motion by Manning, second by Schoonover. And all those in favor of going into closed session, please say aye. Aye. Is there anyone opposed? Please show it was a unanimous vote to go into closed session. All right, we are back in open session now. Item 26, there is no action needed from our closed session. So we can move on to item 27, which is correspondence.
None to report, Mr. Chairman.
No correspondence to report. Item 28, future agenda items. Mr. McGuire.
First of all, I have to ask permission if I can ask a question. This is not a correspondence, but I have a question. If I can't ask it, then I won't ask it.
What's it regarding?
Post offices.
Post offices?
I'm wondering if especially our smaller communities within Richland County are experiencing threats of having their post offices closed if their present postmasters retire. If there's any, because I'm concerned about this. This could hurt the population of our county.
I don't know that that's a future agenda item, but I certainly would encourage anybody who's heard that, talk to Mr. McGuire, see if we can figure out what's going on. Of course, I live in the city, I haven't heard that in the city. But yes, Mr.
Yeah, just a thought based on that conversation we were just having. I'm wondering whether or not it makes sense to have a county board chair report during the meeting too, in terms of priorities and direction setting. So like right after the county administrator would have the county board chair.
Okay, we can certainly do that. Other future agenda items?
6-page report.
It will not be 6 pages, unless it is 6 pages, then we'll talk about it.
You know, I think in terms of priorities, that's important. And that gives clear direction.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we'll certainly have that. Ms. Miller, go
I
ahead.
had a person ask me if at the campus, I know it's not in here, this is just correspondence, but have we ever asked and had the public be able to look at the last 2 buildings or 3 buildings out there to see if there's anything the public's interested in buying or doing?
We had talked about it. I don't know if we actually did it.
And on occasion, I'll have somebody from the public that will contact me with a question about a specific item for a specific purpose, and I've worked with them as much as I can.
Thus far, we've had schools and libraries and other county departments have all had opportunities to go through and have taken out quite a number of items, but there's still a lot left. And as we are conveying, Melville Hall and the gym to the school district, we'll have to for sure get all our stuff out of those buildings. So that's our conversation right now. A campus reconfiguration committee meets tomorrow night.
I was going to say, did we talk about having a
Garage sale.
We did, but we were looking at doing it with, not taking up staff time and using volunteer help, and people are that busy, unfortunately, so.
This person wasn't interested in anything inside, we were looking at the building. They were thinking
The
about
building
what
themselves? That may be an issue we would want to talk over with SEH as far as eliciting proposals and things. So no, we haven't had any potential users of buildings come and go through yet. No.
When is your report due?
The final report, their first report, it's in the packet, I believe they'll have it to us by December 1st.
Okay.
Is when their first part of it.
Well, they are attending tomorrow night's
They are
meeting, right?
attending tomorrow night.
So we will advertise it, or we will do something to satisfy them.
So if there is somebody who's interested interested in purchasing it, if you want to give them my information, and then I can pass it on to SEH.
Any other future agenda items?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Manning. Do I have a second? Second by Supervisor Fleming. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed?
Nice day.
Thank you.